Hello everyone, my name's Evan, and in this video I'd like to show highlights of some murals painted collaboratively with my friend Kelzo. I'd like to talk about the context and conversations around the paintings and show some research. Each mural is site specific, taking inspiration from its surroundings. This one, painted for Heineken, celebrates when the Dutch king came to Manchester. This one for Barclays is hung up on Market Street in the city centre. Collyhurst is going through a period of gentrification. This building is currently used as a skills solutions centre and food bank. 2,000 years ago, Romans quarried sandstone here. The likes of Jimi Hendrix and Sex Pistols played at the Electric Circus Club, and Scarface Al was a notorious 1920s police officer feared by criminals like the Scuttler gangs. This building and its surroundings are due to be demolished soon. The ephemeral nature of the paintings makes the documentation in a way more important than the mural itself. St Helens train station. We were commissioned by Northern Rail to paint the bridge that connects the platforms. Dating back to the 15th century, St Helens is famous for transport innovation and glass production. Local landmarks and wildlife are recurring themes in our work. These shots are stabilised and filmed on a DSLR, although most of the footage in this video is from my iPhone. And the project took around 6 weeks to complete. It was the high humidity in the air in the north of England that made cotton easier to process during the industrial age, which spawned many small towns like Bolton. This old cotton mill has been renovated into apartments. We depicted the historic content of the building, the mill workers and the machinery. The Lowry-inspired skyline shows minarets of mosques and other religious buildings. We had 4 weeks to paint the whole mural. The original design started out very different. Here you can see part of the digital design and scaling process. The messy vitality of murals spoke far more of the possibilities in urban life than the sculpture groups of post-war modernism. Here are some examples of the murals Owen speaks of. The Floyd Road mural was created to celebrate the coming together of a community who physically fought off bulldozers to preserve their street from developers.
Art students tend to be idealistic. They say things like, whatever happens, we must keep going. We must keep on producing art. The discussion of who for doesn't occur. And if asked, I suppose an art student would say that he expected to exhibit work in galleries. Now I think our attitude is that, having done murals, we are inclined to think that possibly galleries are the wrong place to show. And they're showing to the wrong people. They're seen as possessions and not as communication.
As the paint fades, so does the memory of the victory. Despite being there a short time, I discovered lots of current residents weren't familiar with the story. The galleries in London are what I was looking forward to most this year, but they're going to be closed due to COVID. Cable Street in East London was the scene of a brutal battle in 1936 between the immigrant population of predominantly Irish and Jewish people against the police who were protecting Oswald Mosley's fascist black shirt demonstration.
Mounted police come to colleagues' help. Batons are drawn and heads broken as the anti-fascist demonstrators resist efforts to disperse them.
Sketched onto paper, you can see Binnington's original design from 1979. The mural reappropriated the battle, highlighting the struggle of Bengali immigrants of East London at the time. The concept of the painting has a balanced yin-yang characteristic, or Carl Jung's integration of the shadow, layers of meaning that still ring true today. Oldham is a mill town in Greater Manchester. In 2001, it was the scene of the largest ethnically motivated riot since the 1980s. Today, there's less of a conversation of white versus Asian, but a case of so many different languages being spoke in the area. We recently painted a Bengali-owned, female-run textiles factory representing women's empowerment in a pocket of a predominantly Bengali community. The aim of the project was to be inclusive to bring everybody together, but rather it exposed some fault lines within the community. With my time in London, I'd like to paint a mural in the Archway or Floyd Road area. I have also set up a community collaboration led by young people at Barnet Youth Centre.